So a couple of days ago, we went 100 years in the future. Today is 200 years. That's right, the year is 2221. That's a big number. Let's go see how the world of football is looking, shall we? How's it going, folks? And welcome back. The year is 2221. That's in the future. We're in the future yet again. If you missed the 100 year in the future video that dropped a few days ago, do go check that one out. This is a continuation of that. Like that video, if you'd like to download the save game, it is linked in the description for you to pick up. We are here on the world overview screen where, bizarrely, the population of the world has not changed. It's still, it's still 7.8 billion. I don't know what the exact population is right now. Did it go above 8 billion? I've lost track of the population of the world. I can't say it's something I look at on the regular. Football Manager in general is a bit weird when it comes to population. What I will say is the World Cup winners look like the fairly usual suspects. We'll have a look at those in just a minute, but I thought what would be quite a nice place to start is with the world reputation of football clubs, where, well, Newcastle are the biggest team in the world 200 years on. Elsewhere, Arsenal, PSG, Bayern, Tottenham, Wolfsburg. Kind of surprised to see Arsenal quite so high up here. And then there is Celtic and a team in the Malaysian Super League called Kedah, who apparently now have a worldwide reputation. Now, it goes without saying, I've not got the Malaysian Super League loaded, but it seems like they've won the competition quite a lot over the years. I mean, you can see their trophy cabinet here. It looks like it's rather full 200 years into the future. In terms of other clubs in this list, you can see some of them here. Olympia, who are a Paraguayan team, apparently have gone from 3-star rep to 5-star rep in one season. I will say, the further that you go into Football Manager and the future, the weirder stuff starts to happen and nonsensical things just seem to occur, because logically, no one's ever playing a Football Manager save game 200 years into the future. I realise someone is going to now point out about the Guinness World Record people. There's loads of world record holders for Football Manager's longest save games who play hundreds of years into the future. Look, they're weirdos. I'm sorry. If you're one of those people, you're a bit strange. I've just attacked like 5 people for no reason. Shall we talk about the World Cup past winners? That seems like a good place to start, doesn't it? Before I dig myself a bigger hole. Now, of course, last time out, we left things in 21-21. So since then, France have won a World Cup. And the Netherlands finished runners-up back-to-back years, following France's win. Argentina won it against the Netherlands, who lost twice in finals. You got a feel for them. Beyond that, Spain had a really good era of dominance in the 30s. England, Spain, France. There's not many particularly weird nations here. I say that. Belarus have just finished runners-up in the World Cup in 22-18. Who is playing for Belarus? Who is their key player? It is Yuri Simonchik, who is 31 years old. To be fair to him, he's a rather good footballer. Started his career at Barté, went to Sheffield Wednesday, then Clermont-Foot, and then signed by Leipzig for 97 million. Elsewhere, their next best player plays for Santa Clara, who I believe are a Portuguese club. Indeed, they are. He was picked up for 86 million. He's gone on to be quite a good player. He's only 25 years old. And then a couple of players playing for Arsenal, also from Belarus. We've got Makarov here, who you'll be pleased to know is no Russian. That's a very niche reference. Let's move on from that. And Gav Rilov, who's a centre midfielder for Belarus, who's 32. It seems like of their better players, they are a little on the older side of things. Belarus, by the way, 8th in the world rankings. Yeah, they are the highest weird team, I suppose, out of all the nations in this list. Portugal's still at the very, very top. Brazil have climbed a little bit in the last 100 years. Of course, they've probably also dropped in that time. Haiti are 23rd. That seems surprisingly high for Haiti, doesn't it? Do they have any kind of crazy players? I want to know now. It doesn't look like they have. They've got Jean-Marie Axenya. That's probably not how you say his name. Now that I've said it out loud, it sounds mental, doesn't it? All of their players are not that great, although this guy's good. He's 18 years old playing for Nancy. Maybe he could turn into something special. Still, not entirely sure how they've managed to get 23rd in FIFA's rankings. Like before, I'll just scroll through this list. So if you want to try and spot your own nation or spot any other nations that have kind of moved weirdly up or down the leagues, you can do so and scream at the top of your lungs, Botswana! Are you still at the bottom, Botswana? Have they climbed up? They have. I'm very proud of them. They were in last time. It's now Seychelles, who were the second worst nation previously. They're in 205th. So it's not looking all that great for them towards the bottom of things. Over in the Premier League, Newcastle, the highest rep team in the world, have just won the league. They've won it, in fact, the last couple of years. When we left things, Brighton were in a Champions League final, you might remember, and doing quite well. It would seem like since then, they and Southampton have kind of been battling, at least initially. Brighton, just a frequent team here, alongside the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham, West Ham winning the league in 21-33. Brighton again going on these long runs of dominance. Burnley winning it in 21-66. Man City then winning the league for the best part of a decade during the 21-70s. Chelsea popping up for the first time in a little while with a win there. Burton managed to win the Premier League 4 years in a row, with Newcastle finishing runners-up each and every year. Burton, where are you now? They are 10th in the Premier League. If we just look at their history, it's fair to say they've been a little off the pace over the last kind of couple of decades since their spell of dominance, the glory years of Burton that the fans have to look forward to. West Ham have been a very, very good team, as you can see, fairly recently, winning the league on a load of occasions in a row, still towards the top of the table, it seems like, towards the end of things, although the last couple of years, Tottenham, Arsenal, Newcastle winning the Premier League, and then this year just gone. I mean, you can see the state of play here. Manchester United, Liverpool, Everton, Chelsea, all still in the Premier League. In fact, all of the slightly larger Premier League clubs, 200 years on, are still established, which is a bit disappointing, really. I was hoping one of them might have tumbled down the league a little bit. Speaking of the kind of leagues elsewhere, just to have a quick look at them here. You can see in the Championship, Leeds promoted alongside Villa and Derby. Forest Green Rovers making it to 6th place in the Championship. So that's a pretty monumental climb for them. That might be one of the biggest climbs that we've seen. In League One, Palace lost the playoff final. Maidstone have won promotion to the Championship. Eastleigh have also climbed up the leagues a little bit, which is kind of cool to see. And Dulwich Hamlet have also climbed up. I say that, is kind of 3 or 4 promotions over the course of 200 years that impressive at this point? I'll let you guys be the judge. Over in League 2, which is, of course, the only other league in England that we've got loaded, you can kind of see the current teams towards the top. Teams that you would not normally associate with being at this level. Cardiff, Hull, Swansea. Crewe won the playoffs. Sorry, Solihull. So close, yet so far. So when it comes to league rankings in the world, the Premier League is still at the very top. Ligue 1 is still in 2nd place. Last time we left things, there was a sea of Brest. On the right, there is no longer a sea of Brest. Instead, Brest down in 7th. PSG have won the league a lot recently. Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, Rennes have tried to put up the good fight. Brest won it most recently in 21-66. Guingamp had a good little run of winning it in the 50s. But between Brest and PSG, the last 100 years has been dominated by the same handful of clubs. What I will say is Brest, oh my word, they won the league so much over the first kind of 30 years since you were last here. They have done really, really well. And well, despite not winning it recently, they've certainly got to be one of the teams who have won the competition the most overall. Nice managed to break the PSG dominance that had extended over 20 years. So good on you, Nice, although in the year just gone, they didn't get anywhere close to PSG. They finished 15 points clear. The top goal scorer in the league was Yann Lachevere. That's probably not how you say his name. A Frenchman. He's got 51 caps, 40 goals. He looks like he is PSG's star man, has the highest average rating, was signed from Chelsea for 82 million, started his career at Monaco. He's returned to France and he's set the league on fire. Over in the Bundesliga, we left things with Dortmund winning it all. Has that stopped? Yes. Yes is the answer. Dortmund have gone on a really, really good run, it has to be said. Then we have the Clover team, who I'm just going to continue to refer to as the Clover team, because I'm just going to stick with the trends of these videos. I appreciate that some people will have now told me how to say this team's name, not to confuse you and make you think I'm just being ignorant. these videos are being recorded ahead because I'm off for Christmas, so I need videos ahead of schedule. So I've not seen the comments yet, and I know what you're thinking. Surely you could have just hopped in your time machine and checked the comments and come back. Doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules of time travel up. But no, the Clover team in Dortmund winning it a lot. Stuttgart, who had won the Premier League, the Bundesliga, a few years kind of earlier on in the simulation, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they won it kind of in the early 2100s. They've come back to have a spell of dominance in the 80s. More recently, though, Wolfsburg have been the team to beat, and then, well, Bayern and Leipzig sharing the title the last 5 years. All in all, the Bundesliga hasn't got any particularly weird winners, not any teams that have climbed up from nowhere. Maybe Wolfsburg you could kind of shove in that category alongside the Clover team. I say that like France has been that drastically different. I guess besides Brest, there's not been that many kind of crazy teams here. I thought it might happen in England, but I was kind of hoping a Vanarama national team would climb all the way up and be really good. Sadly, it's not quite happened. And also, sadly for Italian football, Juventus are still a thing. I mean, they've won the league a lot, haven't they, over the years as of late. Inter and Roma occasionally breaking the dominance. Atalanta in the 50s gave it their best shot to try and stop what Juve were up to. Fiorentina as well, to be fair, in the 70s did well, as did Milan in the 90s, but over the course of the last kind of 3 decades, it's all been Juve and Inter, unfortunately, and primarily Juventus, who at this point, how many kind of Serie A titles have they won? 141 in the last kind of, well, I was going to say 200 years, but technically there was all the years before that as well. Since the conception of the club, they've about 300 years. They've won it over 2/3 of the time. I'd go ahead and say that that's pretty dominant as far as football club performances go. In Spain, we left things with Espanyol, just winning the league a load. That hasn't happened as of late. What has happened is Real Madrid have returned to the very, very top, but not without Atleti, giving them some good competition over the years. Atleti were kind of disappointing in the first 100 years. They've turned it around a little bit, as you can see here. In fact, they've done a pretty good job, but not before Espanyol. Oh my word. Espanyol between 2114 and 2156. So what's that, like over 40 years? They won the league all but 3 seasons. Where are they now? Espanyol, what's happening? They finished 7th in the league. They haven't come close to winning it in a number of years. I say that. They finished 3rd occasionally, but yeah, the Espanyol kind of era of dominance came to an end, and with it, Atleti kind of took their place. An Atleti team who, when we looked at things last time, as I mentioned, hadn't done that amazingly. If you just look at their competition overview, they've won the Spanish First Division on 47 occasions. Now, Portugal has dropped down the rankings and is now behind Scotland, which still isn't loaded. I will just have a look at Scotland, just to confirm the fact. Celtic are still very, very good. I'm sorry to Rangers fans. I'm sorry to just fans of Scottish football in general. Football Manager's future ain't looking that rosy for Scottish football in terms of competitiveness. Celtic have won it every year. Really, they should just get a better trophy for the team in second place and give them it, because they're essentially the real winners after all. As for Portugal, that has been surpassed, as I mentioned, by Scotland, I feel like this is going to be more of a mess. Looking at it, Santa Clara have had a lot of wins in the last few years. Of course, they had one of those Belarusian players playing for them. And is this a different... How many Belarusian players have they got playing for them? Is that the same one or a different one? I need to check now. They have got 2 Belarusian players playing for them. So they've got Denis Yuk, and then they've also got Sidorenko, who also plays for them. And they're quite good footballers. Obviously, Belarus have done quite well. I suppose that explains why they've won the league so much as of late. As for how the last 100 years have played out, well, TND, who we saw win their kind of first title, went on to win it a lot of years in a row. Estrela de Amadora won it in 21-29. It just feels weird to say these future dates. If I'm not mistaken, Estrela de Amadora do start slightly lower down the footballing pyramid with a fairly rich owner in Football Manager. You can see here, Fiorenze won the league on a couple of occasions in the 40s. Sporting and Porto doing their thing. And then it was Famalicão, I think is how you'd say that team name. Probably not. I mean, you can ridicule my pronunciations. I'm never going to get Portuguese right. You know what makes it worse? My sister is, like, she's fluent in Portuguese. She studied at a university and stuff. I should just ask her to do all the Portuguese sections of my videos. Then I couldn't be criticised anymore. I don't think she'd sign up for it. She knows nothing about Football Manager. Look, in general, Santa Clara have done well as of late. Porto have done well. In Portugal, it feels like it's been more competitive than a lot of the other leagues, a bit more variety in winners. But in general, what we're seeing is just spells of dominance for different football clubs. So if you were wondering, did Brighton win the Champions League final? Because we left that on a cliffhanger last time out. The good news is they beat Roma in the 21-21. We'll get there eventually with these dates. Champions League final. Well done, Brighton. They then win it again a couple of years later, but not before Rennes won it in the meantime. As for the kind of more distant future, you can kind of see how things play out here. The Clover team are very, very good in Europe, it would appear. PSG also having some pretty good spells of dominance. Last few years, though, Premier League teams doing particularly well. Probably explains why the Premier League is still the highest rep league in Europe. Unfortunately, Bayern Munich, very unlucky. They finished runner-up in the Champions League 4 out of the last 7 years. Over in the Europa League, Huddersfield have won it, Southampton have won it, Troyes have won it, Santa Clara, we looked at in Portugal, they've won it too. Burnley getting some continental success as well. As we scroll through things, of course, you can keep an eye out for the weird oddities. Burton doing very well. Burton looked like a team who did have a good little spell once upon a time, falling off a little bit more recently. But really, it does seem like the English clubs just performing the best longer term. No doubt that Premier League money plays a factor in it. Over in the Conference League, we'll scroll up through all of the things here. Dunfermline popping up again. Dunfermline have won a few competitions over the years. Sochi winning it. Kaiserslautern as well doing well. Valeur, who are an Icelandic team, I want to say, managed to win the Conference League. That's really cool to see. Lausanne, who I think are a Swiss team. Yeah, they are a Swiss team. They managed to win the competition, so that's really cool to see. Dunfermline, again, popping up, I believe. Did Dunfermline pop up twice there? They did pop up twice there. I was doubting myself because Sochi popped up twice as well. I was getting deja vu, but no, Dunfermline have won it twice. The Puskás Akademia, I assume are a Hungarian club. They are a Hungarian club. They won it in 2205. The dates are a nightmare. SC Arges have won it from Romania recently. Definitely more random winners when it comes to the Conference League, although that is somewhat to be expected. Another Romanian team doing well recently. And even Mura, who are a Slovenian team, won it the most recent year. Fair play to them. In the final, they beat Slovako, who are from the Czech Republic. So, yeah, I mean, that's way more interesting than some of the other competitions we've looked at. I'm sure there's some proper weird teams here that I've not quite clocked onto. So if you spot any teams that just shouldn't be here normally, please, as always, scream and shout about them in the comments. Now, one competition I didn't cover last time, which I know people are going to have mentioned, so I will look at it today, is the Club World Championship. Of course, this is the international premier club competition, and well, I would label it as that, but looking at things, Tottenham won it 4 years in a row, so can we really use the word Premier to describe it at all? I'll let you folks decide. You can see the winners over the years. To be honest, it's not that weird for the first 100 years or so. Olympia did manage to become the first non-European team to lift it in 2153, so give them some credit. Maybe they do deserve to be listed as one of the highest reputation teams in the world. Burnley won the competition in 2173, so fair play, Burnley. Burton popping up here again. Same with Brest as well. And most recently, it was Bayern winning it. Olympia finishing runner-up in the competition. They don't even have any actual real players, but at least in Football Manager's eyes, they're a really, really good team. How good are the kind of virtual players they're being given? Kind of the greyed-out fake players. They're being given some freakishly good ones. Of course, none of these players in greyed out can actually be signed by anyone else. But for whatever reason, the game has decided that Paraguay is the future of world football, and apparently I should have loaded up the Paraguayan leagues, which, now that I think about it, aren't even in Football Manager, so I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. I'm not going to go through all the Ballon d'Or winners today, just because, of course, they are all fake players, but I do encourage you, as always, to pick up the save game link below and check out the save game for any weird stuff that you stumble across. It's really fun just looking through kind of the weird and wacky scenarios and seeing teams kind of come and go in all the different divisions. As I mentioned in part 1, the next video in this In the Future series is 500 years in the future. I am never going to be able to do 300 years worth of football justice in any way, shape or form, but that is the goal for Future Jack to figure out as he goes back in the time machine and forward another 300 years. I do hope to see you guys on that video. As always, if you have enjoyed today's video, do drop a like on it. Save games link down below. We'll be back in the next couple of days with another of these. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And until next time, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you all in a bit. I'm out.